So, in this hypothetical, Sega gave me the green light for a Sonic Adventure 3, and for some reason they put me in charge of it. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is move this way back on the timeline. Chronologically, this will come directly after Sonic Adventure 2 and follow that continuity. I'll make sure whatever it does doesn't mess with Sonic Heroes continuity, and maybe I'll even try to get it tied into it. So, on the Adventure timeline, it goes Adventure 1, Adventure 2, My Adventure 3, and then Heroes, and all that other stuff. Adventure 1 had a multi-layered hub world and 6 separate stories that tie into one. Adventure 2 had no hub world and just 2 separate stories that tied into the hero characters and the dark characters. In My Adventure 3, the hub world is back, because I love that shit. Fuck you, I love it. However, I will make sure it's easier to find the important story things so those who don't like it won't have to spend a lot of time in it. And how will we do story? Also, closer to Sonic Adventure 1, just wrapped up tighter, and without having to see the same things or fight the same bosses over and over again. I know one big issue of that was like, oh, we gotta do this fight again, we gotta fucking fight Chaos 4 for the 3rd time. I'm not gonna do that. Trust me, I got this, alright? So character-wise, Sonic Adventure 1 has Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, E102, and Big. Sonic is a must-have, obviously, and Tails and Knuckles and Amy, those are fan favorites. I feel like they gotta be in it as well. E102 is dead, so not him, and Big the Cat should never be mentioned again. As for the Sonic Adventure 2 characters, we have the main cast of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, who I already mentioned, but the others were Eggman, Shadow, and Rouge. So I'll put Eggman and Rouge as maybes, but Shadow is a 100% no, simply because he died at the end of Adventure 2. And Hero Shadow is all about figuring out who the hell he is, and if he is the real Shadow, or a clone, or if he, never died. So, I'm gonna let it have that story, and I'm giving Shadow a break in between. Maybe I'll even have characters mention Shadow's loss in passing, or have a memorial for him in the hub world or something. Something that will make his passing more impactful, so when he returns you're like, oh, what? So Sonic, obviously he's going to have the main story, and he's going to play an improved version of Sonic Adventure 2 with camera controls that actually work. I want at least 10 Sonic levels, if not more, in this version. There are these dark emeralds or a dark ring or something that will make our big bad super powerful. And unlike previous big bads, this is just going to be a guy who's Sonic's size. So, an evil Super Sonic. What is he? Is it even a he? This can all be worked out. This is just this little baseline idea. Stick with me, don't leave yet. Sonic's adventure is going to be him going through missions preparing to fight this big bad, like we've seen time and time again. So what's up with Tails? People didn't like how broken he was because of his flying in 1, and others were upset he was stuck in a mech suit in Adventure 2. So my solution is this. Tails is traveling with Sonic during these levels. He's not a playable character, he's just more like this cool sidekick power-up that can be used. Hear me out, Tails lovers. You can summon Tails to show up and use him to get to higher places. If you fall to what looks like your death, you can summon Tails to catch you and bring you to land. And even if you aren't using him for those things, you can still summon him to fight enemies and just overall be useful to you. Now, to make it fair, you will have a Tails cooldown timer, so once you use him, you gotta wait again before he can come back. But he will be actually useful. And by saving time on Tails levels, we can crank up that Sonic levels to 15. Now, as a bonus, maybe we can make it some sort of change where you can play as Tails during those levels as well after you've already beat the story. That's if we have time during this game. Can't guarantee that, but I'll put that into the bonus to work on if we have the time. So what about Knuckles? At some point in Sonic's story, he's going to run into Knuckles and warn him about what's going down. Knuckles is then going to hunt for the 7 Chaos Emeralds for Sonic. So That will still have the treasure hunting gameplay people like, but I'll spice it up a little bit. Also, in regards to guarding the Master Emerald, in this game, part of the story of Knuckles' story, he will be training Mighty the Armadillo to guard the Emerald while he's away. Why do this? That way it still makes sense when Knuckles appears in later media. And why Mighty? Because he actually did that in the Archie comics, and when the Chaotix are introduced in Sonic Heroes, they are a rebooted Chaotix and no longer have Mighty the way that they used to in Knuckles Chaotix, so he isn't being used right now. Honestly, I think Mighty's a great fit. This will be his 3D debut. He won't be a playable character, he's just going to be guarding that emerald while Knuckles is out knuckling. So Knuckles, he'll get 7 levels, 1 for each of the Chaos Emeralds he is gathering for Sonic. Next up is Amy. Now, in Sonic Adventure 1, she's just learning how to fight for herself against robots. In Sonic Adventure 2, she's not playable, and in Sonic Heroes, she is somehow running as fast as Sonic. How did we get here? I don't know. So Amy's story here is going to have to be her getting far stronger and faster and less reliant on Sonic. That way, I have crossed the bridge of her being weak to being strong, and there's not just a weird jump where she's just suddenly strong. And I can even think of a good trainer. We're going to have Tails be the trainer. Tails just went through this arc on being less reliant on Sonic in previous games, and now he can help Amy with that and with speed. Well, what about this whole helping Sonic storyline that Tails was doing? We keep that too. The Amy story will just take place before the Sonic story and can be about freeing badniks. Gameplay will start off with a slower Amy, and we will build that Amy up faster and faster as she continues to get better and better until she's about Sonic Hero speed. Now, people loved their guns in Sonic Adventure. It was E102 in Adventure, and in Adventure 2 it was Eggman and Tails Mech. So who is it in Sonic Adventure 3? May I present Short Fuse the Cyberneck from the UK Fleetway Sonic comics. This is a dude who was turned into a special badnik called a Cyberneck, but managed to keep his brain functions, and he now uses his robot body, made by Robotnik, to fight against Robotnik. Not only a great character, but also he uses his guns and lasers and such, so he really fits as our shooting character. We tell his backstory, then we give him a series of missions fighting Robotnik, where he will briefly team up with Amy in a quest to free the animals from being badniks. Now, Amy's quest, Short Fuse quest, Knuckles' quest will all connect and end as the final story section opens up. Everyone is here ready to fight the big bad. Knuckles goes to give Sonic the emeralds, and then something crazy happens. The big bad takes down Sonic. Sonic is down. He is not dead, but he is down. And here comes my big twist, because it's always Sonic saving the day every single time. Here's my big twist. Knuckles takes the emeralds and becomes Hyper Knuckles, a form he has not been given since Sonic 3. This is not a Super Sonic fight, this is a Hyper Knuckles fight. But there is more. Amy, Tails, and Short Fuse are still here, right? You think they should do something. They do! They team up in a 3-team formation, just like in Sonic Heroes, with Amy being speed, Tails being flying, and Short Fuse being the power. And it will play very similar to a Heroes level. And then the Hyper Knuckles will defeat the big bad, and it's Sonic who will learn a lesson this time that he can't do it alone and needs his buddies. And that will tie into the Heroes theme of teamwork and will blend things seamlessly. So only 4 playable characters. Yes, I know. I promise we can use those 4 playable characters to work on better levels. We can work on making things perfect with that rather than doing 6 characters. If there's more time, I'm down with doing more, but just hard focus on those 4 for now. No promises, because Sega, they're obviously going to give me this deadline, right? Voice-wise, I want as close to the Adventures cast as I can, except for Tails. Give him someone who doesn't suck ass. Music-wise, get all sorts of genres and bands in there, and of course Crash 40 as well. The Chow Garden. bring in a separate director from me who has a passion for that, and possibly tie it to your phone. Like the Dreamcast Adventure had the VMU you could take to play with Chow away from the game. Maybe you could have something like that. Or you actually don't need to, because like the Switch and the Steam Deck exist, so you could take your Chow with you anywhere. I don't know. I'll let the Chow director decide that, and they'll have their own small team who will work on the Chow and how to integrate that into the game. Now, I'm not married to any of this. This is my baseline I'd start with, and we could workshop from there. Just let me know your thoughts. Sega, please, when can I start?